Lewis Hamilton crossed the line in Miami 6th place, 53 seconds behind race winner Kimi Antonelli. But that result tells only half the story. The 7-time world champion's race was effectively over on lap 1 after contact with Franco Colapinto caused damage that cost him half a second per lap for the remaining 56 laps. Hamilton's own words after the race were blunt. "I had nothing. I lost about half a second of downforce on the car, and I was just driving around for nothing, really." Hamilton started 6th on the grid, the same position he qualified. Before the race, he was genuinely optimistic. "I felt the car was pretty good on the laps to the grid. I felt like we would have been more competitive," he explained afterward. Ferrari had brought their biggest upgrade package of the season to Miami. 11 separate aerodynamic components officially declared to the FIA, affecting everything from the front wing to the rear diffuser. But lap 1 unraveled everything. At turn 2, Max Verstappen spun his Red Bull, forcing Hamilton to take evasive action. "I was really unlucky to get caught up with Max's spin and obviously lost positions from there," Hamilton said. He dropped back into traffic, right into a battle with Alpine's Franco Colapinto. At turn 11, the two made contact. Hamilton was on the inside, Colapinto held his line on the outside, and they touched wheels. The contact ripped carbon fiber components from Hamilton's left side pod and floor. Visible chunks of bodywork were missing. The stewards reviewed the incident and deemed it a racing incident. No penalty for either driver. 6 corners later, Hamilton easily overtook Colapinto on the back straight approaching turn 17. Unbroadcast onboard footage captured the moment. Hamilton took his right hand off the steering wheel and raised his middle finger at the Alpine driver as he passed. It was a rare display of visible frustration from the typically composed champion. The aerodynamic loss was catastrophic. Hamilton reported over the radio repeatedly, "It's going to be a long race." His race engineer, Carlos Santi, could only acknowledge the situation. The damage wasn't just cosmetic. It fundamentally altered how the SF-26 behaved. Italian technical reports estimated the floor damage alone cost Ferrari between 10 and 15 points of downforce. In real terms, that translated to Hamilton's estimate of losing 0.5 seconds per lap. Over a 57-lap race, that's nearly 30 seconds of pure performance deficit caused by damaged bodywork, but the impact went deeper than just raw downforce numbers. Ferrari's Miami upgrade package was specifically designed to stabilize airflow under the car and improve aerodynamic consistency through corners. The upgrade focused on what engineers call flow quality, making the car predictable and stable, rather than just generating maximum downforce. With the floor damaged, that entire philosophy collapsed. "I was just in no man's land after that. I was just a passenger," Hamilton said. The car became unpredictable in high-speed corners, where Hamilton needed to attack aggressively to compensate for Ferrari's known power deficit against Mercedes' engines. The damaged aerodynamics made that impossible. Late in the race, Ferrari instructed Hamilton to lift and coast, backing off the throttle early before corners to save fuel and manage the damaged car. It was survival mode, not racing. This race was supposed to showcase Ferrari's development progress. The team had used the 5-week break caused by Middle East conflicts between Bahrain and Miami to fast-track their upgrade program. They brought forward components originally planned for Canada and combined them with the Miami package. The 11 upgrades included revised front wing end plate's new floor geometry, modified rear wing with adjusted end plate curvature, updated diffuser design changes to the side deflectors team. Principal Fred Vasseur had described it as a package and a half, the most extensive upgrade Ferrari had produced in recent years. But the performance gain was minimal. Technical analysis showed the entire package delivered approximately 0.08 seconds per lap, far below expectations for such a massive development effort. For a team operating under strict budget cap restrictions, spending that much for such a small gain raised serious questions about Ferrari's development direction. Even before Hamilton's damage, the upgrade hadn't transformed the car. Charles Leclerc showed stronger pace, but Ferrari still couldn't genuinely challenge McLaren or Mercedes at the front. The fundamental issue remained. Ferrari's power unit continues to show a chronic power deficit, particularly in Miami's high temperatures, forcing both drivers to manage engine temperatures and sacrifice performance. Hamilton's damage simply exposed how sensitive Ferrari's aerodynamic concept had become. The upgrade made the car faster in ideal conditions, but more vulnerable when compromised. Hamilton's middle finger gesture sparked immediate debate. Racing driver Danny Juncadella publicly criticized the FIA for not penalizing Hamilton, arguing it demonstrated inconsistent enforcement of sporting conduct rules. The comparison was stark. In other FIA championships, similar gestures have resulted in penalties, fines, or public reprimands. Yet Hamilton's gesture went completely unpunished. Not even a warning or investigation notice from the stewards. Formula One fans were divided. Many defended Hamilton, arguing the gesture was an understandable human reaction to race-ending damage caused by unavoidable contact. Others felt it set a poor precedent, especially given Hamilton's status as a role model in the sport. Hamilton himself didn't address the gesture in post-race interviews. His focus remained on the damaged car and lost opportunity. "It's the worst when it happens on lap 1 as well because there's just nothing you can do," he explained. "Honestly, without the damage, I think we would have been right up in the fight." The car was feeling good on the laps to the grid. The final classification showed Hamilton 6th after teammate Charles Leclerc received a 20-second post-race time penalty for repeatedly exceeding track limits while fighting to stay on track with his own damaged car on the final lap. Leclerc had spun into the barriers, damaging his front wing, then cut corners trying to reach the finish line. The penalty dropped him from 6th to 8th, promoting Hamilton and Colapinto. Hamilton scored 8 points in Miami, 6th in the sprint, 6th in the Grand Prix. Leclerc scored 6 after his penalty. For a team that arrived with championship aspirations and their biggest upgrade of the season, it was a devastating weekend. The broader concerns for Ferrari are multiplying. The power unit deficit remains unresolved. The upgrade package delivered minimal gains despite massive investment. The car's aerodynamic concept appears increasingly sensitive and difficult to develop further. And both drivers are now expressing frustration about correlation issues. The car behaves differently on track than predicted by simulators and wind tunnels. Hamilton was diplomatic but clear in his assessment. A weekend to forget. "We move forwards and we try and see if we can extract more at the next race." The reality is harsher. Ferrari brought their best development effort of the year to Miami and left further behind Mercedes and McLaren than when they arrived. The championship standings reflect that reality. After 4 rounds, Hamilton sits 4th with 33 points. Championship leader George Russell has 51 points. The gap is already significant, and Mercedes shows no signs of slowing their development pace. For Hamilton, Miami represented everything that's frustrated him about the 2026 season so far. Promising pace in practice sessions that doesn't translate to race results. Reliability and damage issues robbing him of competitive opportunities in a car that remains difficult to extract consistent performance from. The next race is Canada in 2 weeks. Ferrari will have time to analyze what went wrong in Miami, both with the upgrade package's modest gains and with Hamilton's damaged race. Whether they can find answers before Montreal remains the critical question for a team that entered 2026 with genuine hopes of competing for championships, but is instead fighting to stay relevant in the midfield battle.